Hi, I'm in England right now in the Manchester area. I'm staying with my friends Tim and Michelle Burgess. They are both chainsaw carvers here in the UK. Tim and I just did the English Open chainsaw carving competition. There's two categories, classic, combo. Classic, you carve one log over the course of 2.5 days. Combo is 2 logs over the course of 2.5 days. And so Tim did combo, I did classic because I'm, a little bit slow. You start off by drawing numbers for logs. Out of the 16 carvers doing classic, I drew number 15, naturally, which is probably a blessing in disguise because there would have been a temptation to get one of the biggest logs, but there's a lot of wood to carve. The trees here are a bunch bigger than what I'm used to working with in Texas, and so I think it was probably good that I got a smaller log ultimately, except the one that I picked had this really cool little thing coming off to the side, and I thought, wouldn't that be great for my moon goddess? And it would just fit in there nicely, but when I cut into it, it's full of rot, full of dirt, so I had to just cut it all off. And then talking to the local carvers, they said, well, you should take the sapwood off too for oak. So I took the sapwood down and ended up with a much skinnier log than I thought I had, which is fine. You can plan all you want, you can do sketches, but until you start cutting into the wood, you don't really know what you're working with. You have to stay adaptable. That's the lesson with wood. Just don't get too attached to an idea, just see what you got. I'm happy with how my piece turned out. I had to consolidate the design, so I brought her up the log, the moon and the woman sitting in the moon. And then I decided, well, at the bottom was supposed to be clouds, but that's a whole half a log of clouds would be kind of boring. So I carved a little howling wolf and a fox on the other side, some nocturnal animals under her. And yeah, it was fun. I don't typically do nature. Foxes and wolves, I think, kind of fall into the fantasy category for me a little bit too. They're in plenty of stories, and as a fantasy-focused person, I can justify it. Every day after we were done working, we did a campfire, and that's always my favorite part of these carving trips. Sat around, there were a couple of guys playing guitar, everyone was singing, talking. It's really fun. One night, actually the night of the full moon, somebody walked behind us and dropped little drops of petrol all the way around the fire, lit it, and then we were all in a ring of fire, which stepping outside of it and looking in it made me think of like fairy lights or a fairy ring under the full moon. Very magical.
Down, 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 and the flames burn higher, and it burns, 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 the ring of fire,
the ring of fire. Over the course of the trip, as I've been carving, I've been listening to Robert Jordan's Eye of the World from the Wheel of Time series. I do really enjoy listening to books on tape while I carve. It makes the time pass, and it keeps me focused and working harder longer because I'm distracted and I'm not, I guess, thinking of reasons why I want to take a break. Yesterday, Michelle took me sightseeing. We went to this really beautiful old church in Knutsford, or near Knutsford, right by this mirror, which is supposedly haunted. She said that there was supposed to be like the Lord's daughter or somebody who drowned in it, and her ghost is supposed to ring the bells of the church. But then I was also reading online that there was supposedly a mermaid who lives in there too. So I don't know, maybe there's both a ghost and a mermaid. Every square inch of the little churchyard graveyard is old tombstones mixed with new tombstones. It's just an interesting consolidation of history. Behind the church, there's this old, ancient Celtic pagan stone. It's like a little Celtic head. It's a man with like probably horns behind the church, and that was so interesting to think about just how many years that carving has been there. And it makes me really want to try stone, because wood eventually rots, it eventually deteriorates and cracks, and it shifts. With stone, you have a chance at immortality a little bit. Your work can carry on forever, I think I might want to at least make one thing that will last forever. Tomorrow we're road tripping up to Carbridge, Scotland, and going to be carving at another carving event. That one's only a 4-hour competition, which I'm slightly terrified of, and then after that there's, I think, a 30-minute speed carve. So trying to stay in shape today, carving. A little bit nervous about the speed part of it, but it should be fun. And at the end of it, there's supposed to be some kind of traditional dance, and I'm probably going to mispronounce this, but I think it's called a Keeley. I haven't seen it written, so I don't know, but it's been kind of, I've been hearing Keeley, a Keeley. I don't know. So we're going to be doing some Scottish dancing, I guess, and probably drinking pretty heavily. Get a cultural experience out of it. I'm excited. Yesterday I got tattooed in Manchester at Rain City Tattoo. My friend Tom Chippendale came up from the south and did a guest spot there and tattooed a campfire scene on my hand. I think it's really beautiful, but I'm questioning how smart it was to get a tattoo on my dominant hand like 2 days before a big carving competition. But I don't think getting tattoos is about making wise decisions necessarily. Alright, well, I should probably get back to work. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next week in the States.
Kids next door, but I can find some 1,000 things inside my head, wish I'd never seen. Now I'm just trapped in a really bad dream. Part of the same soul thing, Jack Daniels, old number 7. Tennessee whiskey got me drinking in heaven. Those angels died all to me. Gonna have to pull me to the fire deep. Said thank you, Jack Daniels, old number 7. Tennessee whiskey got me drinking in heaven. Time to stay here too long. I can't be hanging.
He's coming in the back.
He's in the back.
Look, we're going to do this. Look, we're going to make it better for you guys.
Mama put my gun in the ground. I can't shoot them anymore.
It's all on this side at the moment.
That's going to treat now, mind.
Knock, knock, knocking